my years pass. Even though I moved out, I'm still in a very comfortable financial state, right? If anything, you can almost look at what I'm doing right now as a kind of involuntary early retirement, right? But generations, I honestly feel like you guys live in a real injustice. And specifically for my kids, I gotta think about when I can and so what I want to recognize is we are once again in the same type of history where older workers and younger workers are starting to begin to experience somewhat of the same reality. Younger workers are not relevant whatsoever in the job market. They are not able to break the older workers are deemed useless in the job market. There's no longer that mentorship or experience and skills no longer really needed. The last time that this happened was really throughout the end of the Gilded Age, the early 1900s. I watched a tremendous amount of archive footage and just footage in general, especially on YouTube. When you look at the labor protests during that era, what you recognize is that, well, let me backtrack just a second. There's a lot of it's kind of hard to find, but there are older labor protests kind of throughout the Gilded Age. What you see is that it's almost all young people. By the end of the Gilded Age, in the early 1900s, what you recognize is that it's older and younger workers walking side by side. That is what allowed change to happen. Because right now,
don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on his side.
Of young workers being lazy and entitled.
We found him here, after all.
Push that to the side. When you have it as older workers that have the maturity, that have the voice, that have the stakes of having a family, change starts to happen. And so what we have to do is we have to stop pointing at each other. It blows my mind that I was really thinking when I started to see individuals posting about older workers being laid off on YouTube. I thought, well, finally, this is going to be our opportunity to come together. I was reading the comments of these videos, and all it is older workers saying, yeah, it's these young people that are able to get lower wages and these types of things. I don't understand it. I do get the premise of young workers are they get lower wages, but why are we focusing on the employer, the corporation, the corporate mentality, the shareholder primacy? I don't understand it. We have to start directing our attention on the issues at hand. It's so easy to do this. And I understand that when emotions are heightened and the likelihood that your family is on the line, you start to want to attack something. It's going to do no good if we keep doing this. Because our jobs are going to be automated and they're going to be offshored. And at some point, we'll just all be twiddling our thumbs. This is a moment, this is a unique moment where we have the opportunity to come together and to make a change. And that change starts in your family. It starts with the conversations you have with your kids. Maybe the job market isn't as strong as I thought. Maybe the American ideal isn't what I thought. Maybe I want the president of my kids' lives. It also starts with the conversations you have with your parents. Wow. Maybe my parents do know what they're talking about. Maybe I don't want to be like this. I need to ask them what they wish that they would have done. Maybe we can tackle what is it that we're supposed to do together as a family. I've read a lot about the creation of the American education system. What you recognize is that it was fundamentally built to remove the power away from the family and put it into the hands of the government. That was intentional. It created a unique opportunity for us all walking side by side and pursuit of a better American workforce. But it also of the family, because there's a common theme that we're experiencing. If you and your parents are both experiencing the difficulties of a job market, there's unification. So don't blame each other. It's such a shame, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the leadership of older workers that have mentored me along the way. And the fact that we've lost that, I think, is really devastating. And I hope that as we begin to rebuild from what it is that we're going to experience, I unfortunately think 2026 will be the year of older workers being laid off. 2025 was really Gen Z can't enter the job market. I don't think that's going to get better. It just isn't going to get the same headline news. It's going to be the next thing. I hope by 2027 is the American workforce demands more. And with that, I hope that we start going back to some of these fundamentals that I think have been lost throughout history. I think the respect for the elders, but also the admiration and the desire to want to teach and help and nurture the young mind is crucial. We've broken both sides. It's going to take both of us to come together to make a better tomorrow. We have an opportunity. I hope that we can seize it. And for everybody that is facing the layoffs, I'm really sorry. It's unbelievably hard. And it's difficult because I'm in this position to where I wish that I could do something else right. And this is one of those ones where it's very difficult to do so. I've provided a link to the TJAAA, which I've talked a lot about on other videos. It's a movement that we're doing. It's a petition to basically rebuild the way that job applications are handled. We got the petition from 300 signatures to over 50,000. Really trying to push that, trying to make this a little bit better. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be up to us to start to hold everything to a higher standard and to say, no, you're not firing because of AI. You're firing because of this. Nope, this is age discrimination. Nope, this is, whatever, you name it. But let's not do it at each other. Anyway, I hope this was able to provide some value to you. Thank you all so much for your time. If this did provide value, don't mind just checking to see if you're subscribed. If you are, thank you very much for your support. If you're not, don't mind subscribing. It really helps me be able to give the videos to those that actually want to see the type of content, and it helps it expand to others. I would greatly appreciate what it is I'm trying to do here. Besides that, thank you all so much. Until next time. Bye.
Best thing about John Wick was the hotel.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Hotel was such a great concept. I love the martial arts. I think part of that is people's just longing for a hotel that well run. It's so. I like the fights, but I love the service.
Yeah.
Kind of nearly dead, so we'll take care
With the dog. With the dog. Yeah.
For me, it's a hotel movie with some fights.
Wait, didn't they say they don't take? What is something they don't do that they did for him? Maybe the dog. I feel like there was something that they don't.
It's a no pets building.
No. Something but they did it for him. Yes, but I swear they don't accept pets.
But it was a no pet center. I hope I'm not wrong about this.
I swear there was something where they said, Mr. Wick, they said, Mr. Wick, we don't allow da-da-da, and then they like made an exception for him. No, that was you wanted to kill somebody on premises. Oh, maybe it's that. That's more likely than pets.
That's more likely.
It's more likely you're not allowed to kill someone. I remember him talking with his dog, and they were like, they treated the dog as if it was a customer. Because it is. Yeah. They're like, oh, John, and fluff. I love the fact that you watched John Wick, and your biggest takeaway was, what a hotel.
I love the fact that you thought it was plausible they didn't take pets. I could make you come in with a blood-dripping samurai sword and a dog cage, and they're like, for the cage. I'll give you a towel for the sword.
I see you had your dog.
No, some of the other assassins, they got the hair of the dog.
Astrologer, I don't know, man. I feel like there was something. You should check it. I think there was something about no pets. It was just like a vibe. But you know,
It's a great hotel.
it really is the entire pet friendly as well. This is What Now with Trevor Noah.
I've been here since 2006, so nearly 20 years.
What did you do?
Daily show. I got offered the job. That was my first day in New York was the Daily Show.
Are you serious?
Yep. Yep.
No, wait, tell me your Daily Show origin story.
So they were looking for a new correspondent.
Okay.
I'm in London, right, having doing the Edinburgh Festival every year.
Okay.
So they say, put yourself on tape.
Who said this to you?
They were looking for a correspondent from the world, right, for the first time, not from America, from outside of the borders of this land. And so there were a bunch of people in London. As a British person, I'd love to criticise, but game recognised game. India. What about if we call it something different? A bunch of English comedians have been asked to put themselves on tape. Then so I think I'm never going to hear from them again. Then they say, they want to meet me. So I think, fine. I've never been to New York before. This will be my free trip to New York for 36 hours. So I flew over here, stayed in Midtown, went to Applebee's for a meal. Thought this must be like quintessential American diner. Applebee's.
I love how you're ticking all the boxes.
Yeah,
every immigrant who comes here,
that's right.
Midtown, you think best location.
That's right.
You can't get better than this. Hell's Kitchen. What a great name. You know what I mean? It's probably ironic.
Yes. Yeah. This must be where everything is.
And Midtown. Yes. That's what you want to be like. Yeah. Wow. This seems like fine dining.
Yeah.
You're just ticking all the boxes. And then?
So then, I went to the building, auditioned. You know who John Stewart was? Oh, yeah. Okay, so it wasn't on in England, but I knew of it. It was very much the gold standard for me of what political comedy in the world could be. It was even back then in 2006. Despite not being on TV in England, its presence and influence was still felt.
All right, got it.
So I was thrilled just to see it. So then I read a chat, one of those green screen chats. Exactly. And they said, when could you start? I live in England, so I don't have anything here. And I was supposed to be doing the Edinburgh Festival that summer. So I went back to England, picked up 2 bags full of stuff, and then came back here in July of 2006. And I've barely been back since. It's so crazy how similar
Greetings,
stories are. It's almost like they have like
traveller
a
from beyond the fog.
mine was like similar. It really feels like that. It really feels like mine was like similar, but it's slightly different. Mine was I got a call from John. Right. I was in London. I just got like one of my first tours ever. But it was like a tiny tour. Yeah. I was doing all the small cities, from London, Brighton, Newcastle, you name it.
I offer you an accord.
No, but I'm saying like, what I mean by tiny, like 200 seats, 150 seats.
Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the 2 fingers, offering guidance and aid to the tarnished.
So my tour was tiny, is what I'm
But you,
saying. Okay. So
I am afraid,
I get a call, don't know
are
the number.
maidenless.
I'm standing in Harrods. That's why I'll never forget this call.
Standing in
I can
Harrods.
play
So
the
I
role
heard about
of
Harrods.
maiden,
Again, quintessential.
Yes.
Immigrant. I've literally never
turning
been in
wounds
Harrods in my
into
whole life.
strength
This band.
to aid you in your search for the
Everyone's
Elden.
like, why? Because they like, it's the store. And remember, this is before
Need only
Amazon.
take me with you
Before things like that existed in
to
that
the
way.
foot of the Erd tree.
They said you go to Harrods and you can find anything. And I was like, what does that mean?
Then
Well,
it's
just
settled.
go to Harrods.
Summon me
Very nice,
by
yeah.
grace
So I go to Harrods.
to turn runes into
I find
strength.
anything.
I'm in the
You can't afford anything.
you can't. I'm in
Ah,
the lower level.
another
one
matter.
below, like minus
I
1 level.
bequeath to you
Wait,
this
different
ring.
levels? Yeah, and they all have different things. So clothing, perfume, you know, international my phone rings.
It
I
will
was staring
summon
at an
Torrent to treat
underwater
him with.
scooter. I will never forget this moment.
Shall I let my hand
I was staring at it
share
thinking,
them with me?
how in my life will I ever be able to
Your
afford one of these?
thoughts,
Because it's impossible.
your ambitions,
I didn't even think about where I would use it. I
the
just thought I need this in my
principles
life.
you would follow.
It's an underwater scooter. So you have like the, what do you call those things? When you put the bulb over your head? No, you know, like when you scuba dive, you'd wear that, thing. Old scuba guys wear that. An underwater used to be brass. Yes, that thing. But now it's on a scooter. So you go down on the scooter and then you have that on your head and you ride around. Wait.
So it's that brass helmet, but it's not brass anymore.
It's not brass.
No, because it would be too heavy.
Yeah. So
I think we've moved past brass. No, I think the moment that we've got underwater scooters, we've picked the brass helmet. One follows the other. So, God, this thing's going to be great. If I could just... Oh, man. So,
Wait. I can't move on from this. We have to describe the contrast.
Yes.
okay, so now imagine a scooter, or what I guess in America they call a moped.
Done.
Whatever, this little thing, like a Vespa type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, and then there's no wheels.
No wheels.
No, that's how they sound.
Yeah.
Roadrunner is the difference. So,
God, I wish you could stop it this way. I wanted that to be the distinction without the difference, but actually that was.
okay, that's the story of life. So, it's a, so now imagine that. No wheels, right? But it has a little propeller underneath. Okay, so sort of like a but you can't see the motor. So that's it. So you sit and you ride like that. But then it has a contraction that comes from the front of it that brings. Wait, I'll explain this part. So there's a contraction that comes over the front of it.
Everyone who only to have their own. Did you know? It's quite a lot. You're all on your own and heading to enticed. Wow, that makes. I don't have. It's scary. I want to do nothing.
And then you ride around.
So does that weight
Can
weight
you
down to the bottom of
It is weight.
And
The whole thing is weight.
it'll be
You
glad
can't like put this in your backpack. It's the size of a
it was
scooter.
on.
So how would you
Tell
get
them
into
I
the
love
water
them
with
trying
it?
to get.
These are not things I thought of at the time.
Like the fact there's no room to back.
I don't think so. I was just like, I know I need to.
How many miles worth it? Call this thing an investment would not be.
But I didn't have the money. I was serious. Then my phone rang, and it was John Stewart. I didn't know John Stewart. Unlike you, I didn't know who he even was. And then he came on, and you know John better than anyone. Like, John does not take himself as seriously as people take him, right?
Yeah.
So he calls me, goes, hey, can I speak to Trevor? I'm like, speaking. He says, hey, John Stewart, I host a little show. That's exactly. I host a little show in America called The Daily Show.
Not just work in the days of another way. Just like
Because this was the big. So
I like the underwater scooter.
I was just like,
Totally wasted on you.
I was like, no.
Let's get back to that.
Okay, Shaq.
Let's get back.
So then John goes,
I am not done with that either.
So John goes, the show, I'm John Stewart, and he's like, I don't know if you've heard of me. I was like, no, I haven't. And then he said, he's phrasing out, again, it sounds like he goes like, he said something to the effect of, nor should you have.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He said, John Stewart, I don't know if you've heard of me. And I said, no, I haven't. And he said, nor should you have. And then he said, I host a little show in America called The Daily Show. And I was like, oh, I think I've heard of that. And he's like, as you should. As you should have. And he's like, some of your stuff, I like your stuff. I was wondering, like what would you like to come to here? Now, first of all, I come from South Africa. I'm
This tiny goal is
50%
light,
chance
but
of a
now
scam.
you can see
Somebody's
the
just trying to get
rays
my details. I know how this
upon the a demigod. If the rays in the elm has an eye, I pray that you to face
Barely
the
listening to the guy. He's more just.
I'm still reading the text.
Yeah.
On the thing while you're talking. Then he said, can you come to New York? And I was like, no. And I was like, what's it? What a high, you want to come to New York? I was like, oh, no, no, thank you. He's like, I'm sorry, what? And I'll never forget, he went, sorry, what? And I said, yeah, I've got a tour that I'm doing now. Luton, like all these places. Chipping Norton, like, I'm out here, baby. Squawksbury.
I said the same thing. I said a version of that when they offered me the job.
You did.
My manager said, if they want you to do the job. And I said, I can't do it. I'm going to Edinburgh.
You see?
And he said,
In
you're
search
not
of the Elden
You had a manager.
Ring.
That's what I'm saying.
you're going to go do this job. Otherwise, I think, yeah, but I got to
Emboldened by
Guys, you know how hard it is to book Edinburgh?
Yeah.
I got a room. You're internationally acclaimed. I think
We would have to find them on in Edinburgh.
that was, and then Sean said, wait, what was it doing? How many months you trying to do? I was like, in and I have a comedy now.
Remind me, who were you again?
And then, well, you're the change of mind. Wow. Let me know. And he said, wait, but I'm just confirmed. Are you saying no?
warrior blood must
Yeah. What's the thing? Right? And I'm glad I genuinely didn't know. I was like, it wasn't like, oh, so I was having this show. I'm going to prioritize our two shows.
Yes.
So thank you for the call. Yeah. I'm going to carry on with my life. And I know that you would have brought me much closer to that underwater stuff. So much than anything else. That's what that yeah. So that's great. But that's what it no one came and said, I don't like that fight.
Yeah, I think Harris was pretty good, right?
smoldering within.
I think Michael Jackson.
In fear of the night, the hands of the fell will thee hold.
Oh, that. My takeaway from the Floyd like Michael Jackson is not that he was scammed out of such as I think if we would get into that, probably contractually it felt like Harris let him down.
Buying a fake Big Dynasty mask. Ironically made in China as well.
Wow. So wait, okay, so
Forgive
now,
me
let's go back
to
to
see
so now,
whether on hand
you get brought
it
in.
seems
So now
my worries
you come in
torrent.
here.
Had
I
yours I
thought
may
maybe
there is
start
what I
one.
can take gathering.
No, I don't know if they did this with you.
Very well,
when I
let my
got my
hand.
stuff, I came back my first day in the office. I think I've found out since then this is a very nice thing they would do. They would try and get you on the show straight away. So you're not hanging around too long watching, thinking about what it will be like. I landed back here, exhausted, went to the office. They said, you're going to be on the show tonight. Like, wait, what? And so the whole thing then moved very, very quickly, and all of a sudden I was in. In retrospect, I see that is a very kind thing to do for people to get them in quickly.
Yeah.
So you're not overthinking.
Essentially, I think it's like the same tactics that like a drug gang uses. When you flirt in with the idea of being part of the cartel, they get you into a deal as quickly as possible so that you can't now back out.
Perfect enough.
I
Wait. You have to explain that. You said no in the shop.
I said no, yeah.
So how long before you think it? And what makes you think it?
So this was, I don't know how long it was after that. I'm bad with time in that, maybe 6 months. Hey, I don't know, but it was much later. I'm coming to New York to do my show in a small little theater. Because remember, I'm on my trajectory. I'm nailing it. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
John contacts me again, basically goes like, I heard you're in New York.
Oh,
And then I'm like, man, listen, I'm like this guy.
Yeah.
Yo. Now, I still
there?
don't, so here's
Come
what I
over.
have to explain about it.
It's titled
I didn't,
The Gods
first
You
of all, I
Breach
didn't know what the Daily Show was because we didn't get it in that way
your
until that.
I
But
pray.
more importantly, I had
The God
seen
you'll
what
slip.
John did, and I've told him this.
You're just I pray.
Stay on CNN.
Yeah, that's right.
The
Global
international
edition.
edition.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
The global edition.
Yep.
So what I saw was Christian Amanpour,
Yeah.
Richard Quest, news from Hong
Yeah.
Kong, New news from India, news from England. Then this guy would come on TV. I assumed drunk because he was reading the news. But man, this guy was not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
But this was, so Jon Stewart was part of CNN in my world.
That's up. I agree.
Yes.
I then watched him do it because it would be one of the writer's jobs. It would be
Exactly.
one of us to write the shit out a wraparound bit and no one cares about it because they don't see it. Unfortunately, the rest of the world is the opposite thing. So they put the only one on, so it's half-baked thing of the guy reading his way to work. I'm monitoring out to the world, no one's going to hear it. And then the rest of the world is watching it after Christian Amanpour has just told them what happened in Libya. Very, very confident guy in New York going, welcome. Anyway, here's my show.
And it was, so that's what so I was like, oh, I definitely don't want to be part of that thing, whatever it is. I don't want to join the news. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to join the news. Yeah. So the first time I came to the show when I was in New York. John said, just come to the building and hang out with us. So I walked in. See, just hang out. Was I gone? Was I there? You weren't there.
Yeah. So I must have gone.
You were gone.
Yeah.
You were gone. Yeah, you were gone. I think you were just about to launch your show. You hadn't launched your show in HBO, actually.
Oh, wow. So you were right in that window.
Yeah, you
that
had just
2-month
left.
window, yeah.
You had just left, but you hadn't launched your show.
Huh.
And they were using you as the template for me. Like, literally, they were like, so this works for John. So they were literally like, John Oliver would sit in this office, so you can sit here in this office.
Yeah.
And because I'm assuming they were just like, it's Empire vibes. You guys, this is what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sound like him, I think. So
Yeah, we do all sound the same.
Yeah, okay.
There is something cannot distinguish between English, Australian, South African.
Yeah, no.
They don't use the vowels. For some reason, that's our sounds. Are completely indistinct, so it's a gamble. It's 1 in 4 chance each time.
the best description someone gave me once that helped me understand this, it encapsulates it, was there's a guy I met in the street, UPS driver, big fan of the show. I was hosting the Daily Show this time, and he looked at me and he's like, hey man, he's like, yo man, I messed with this dude. He said, you that British dude from South Africa.
Well, again,
But that was,
historically,
but that was so perfect to what you're saying. You're that British dude from South Africa.
yeah,
He knew where I was from,
Yeah.
but he's like,
I can't hear it.
you're British.
Yeah.
So, I'm at the show, they're using the John template, which I'm grateful to you for, by the way, in many ways. Because now they had like an idea, they're like, all right, you work, like, that kind of guy, right? So they go, this is what we're going to do. John goes, hang out. I go into one of their meetings. If you go into a Daily Show meeting, you will not know a single thing. Maybe now because of Trump, the world has become more attuned with what America's talking about. That was John Boehner,
Yeah.
which threw me off because on the screen I read Boehner, B-O-H-N-E-R, and then everyone was saying Boehner, and I was like, are they doing this on purpose as a joke? Are they saying Boehner? And then they were talking about gerrymandering, filibustering. They were talking about,
Yeah.
like, you know, I was just like, what is this? And then at the end, John was like, so what do you think? And I said, my friend, you're a very funny guy. But this is, and what I do, is very different. You guys are doing homework, I'm doing comedy. So,
Yeah.
I like you a lot. We walked around the building with me. We told jokes, John is funny. We just told them. And then John said, let's do this conversation on the air.
The same.
But interestingly, because having been in that process, you're there at the morning. I understand the distinction made between you're doing homework, I'm doing comedy. That time of the day, for the best comedy to happen, that time of the day has to be homework.
Yes.
Right? So, what it's a writer, comedy writer. Why is no one making jokes? And the thing is, you can get too attracted to a joke, right? And you can try and build the whole day show around a joke that you love. Whereas the truth is, foundation of the stop. Build that joke on that. Jokes you love. collapsing. All you do is very intelligent trying to reach all the jokes that are not standing up. So, that is why those meetings can appear humorless if you're looking at it from the outside. But what they are doing is building the foundation for jokes that will come.
No one can bring it up. First of all, use the word anathema to describe what's going on.
Yeah,
today.
no. Already. No, full on. So, the conversation we had, he said, what do you think of the show? And I told him he laughed. He said a few things. I laughed and we went back and forth. John said, why don't we do this on the show? I don't understand. I really don't understand what this show is now.
Yes.
I have to go to Apple
Then John said, this is good on the show. And long story short, that's what we did. We basically took our conversation, turned it into a chat between us,
Yes.
and that's what we put on the show. And John was like, that was amazing. Let's do it again. And then I said, no, I'm going home. I don't want to be a part of this. And I left. And John was
Meanwhile,
like,
in South Africa, we're building statues of you.
because it was, guys, it is hard. Did you anticipate how much hard work it would be?
Yes. I think I knew it was going to be hard. I think I didn't know exactly what you were talking about. I didn't know how I was going to need to do a crash course in American politics.
Yeah.
Not just the characters, but the functions of it, right? Where you are starting to look at the separation of powers and just the basic way the government operates, and you realize as you're in meetings for months, you're thinking, I need to Google that later. You're going to have to kind of yourself as you go along and fill in the gaps and know that you're always in the gap. How you understand the country that you're hoping to call home.
Did you always know? Like, what were you doing? What were
No,
you doing in the UK?
No, because my manager, the same guy that said you're not going to enter this.
Yeah.
He said, just go. Like, don't sign anything more than a 3-month lease because American TV shows fire you after 3 months.
Okay.
That was his inspiring team talk.
This is an English manager.
This is an English manager.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, exactly.
American managers are like, yo, this is it, baby.
Yeah,
Sign
that's right.
a 7-year lease. Just go and listen, baby, you got it. English manager, I can see him being like, all right, nothing more than 3 months.
That's right. It's a huge opportunity for me to be honest. I'll say haven't been humbled by one another. Good luck. So he had told me this is not going to take long. So I put all my stuff in storage in South London. And it was there until last summer was when I got it out. It had been in storage
Till
2025 for 80 years in South Norwood.
Now you relax. You finally relax. All right.
Well, say that, Tom, because that is the problem, right? It's partly falling in love with a job and falling in love with a country where you don't legally permanently belong. I remember, like 6 or 7 months in, being very happy with what was happening at the show and what I was learning and how, for the first time, I felt like I fit in. And I remember landing from London, like the wheels hitting the ground in New York, and thinking, oh, it's good to be home. And then I thought, oh, that's a dangerous thing, because this is not my home. Like, I'm on a working visa. That's a problem. If I feel that way, I might need to start making plans for this truly being my home. Because before it had just felt like a fun adventure that I was having. Then you realize, oh no, I think I love this more than I've loved anything. And there were people at the Daily Show at the time using it as a springboard because it was such a big deal, the show.
I mean, it was huge. But yeah, when I think about in your era, sort of like where you came on towards the end of it, when I look at the class of people around that time, you had Steve Carell.
Steve Carell was before me. He'd gone.
Yeah, he just left.
I turned up. Ed Helms was his last week, but he's not going to the office.
And The Hangover as well was coming up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they were all doing stuff, but I didn't want to do it. So I didn't want to do it at all. I didn't want to go out on audition. I just wanted to do that show. I didn't want to be in movies. I didn't want to be in a sitcom. I didn't want to act in something. I just wanted to be in that building doing that show.
But what version of it? Because the first time I saw you was when you did the piece about South Africa.
Oh yeah.
You did that, have you ever seen that? You did a piece for the World Cup. It is one of the most amazing pieces you'll ever see, especially if you're South African, but even if you're not. But John came to South Africa.
Yeah, for the first game. I watched that first game in Jabin.
South Africa versus Mexico.
Yep.
Yeah. Shabalala! You can pay for that. This is what happens when you don't watch football, my man. Do you think you can? Let me tell you something.
You can 100% Eugene.
Let me tell you something.
100%.
Yeah. I can pay you all the money in the world, and I can give you all the time in the world. You will never create that goal. My friend, do you understand how hard? There's so many things you have to go. So Eugene, I should give you a bit of context. Eugene A doesn't believe in football. Nope.
Wait, hold on. I'm more interested in this than I is the underwater scooter. You don't believe in the concept of it?
No, because I think football fans basically like other men. Because they would watch women's football, but because they appreciate just watching men only play football.
This argument is flawed on so many levels.
It's over for you. What are you talking about? Also add in the fact that he also thinks it's all a scam. It's all rigged. Yeah. It's all like
all fake, it's all actors.
He thinks we're watching WWE.
People have been groomed from childhood. They've been put on his camp to kick this ball from his jersey. Other people have been co-opted into the scam.
The World Cup's coming.
Yeah.
Nobody wants this shit right now.
That World Cup of ours, bought, was just for my diva.
The World Cup was bought.
And that goal.
No.
The whole spirit.
No. Every World Cup is bought. FIFA is a criminal organization.
At least we agree there. First catch.
Yes, and then so I'm getting on your argument, saying FIFA is a criminal organization. Then I'm getting off, and you are driving that argument off into crazy town.
Remember, and also it's very hard for me to admit this because I did a show called Countdown 2010, which was a magazine show for 4 years, and I traveled the world.
Yeah, you hyped us up for it.
And
I hyped up the whole
attended
country for the World Cup.
4 years, attending huge sporting events, Euro Cup,
Yeah.
CAF Africa Cup of Nations, everything. I was there. What I took away home was my salary and the fact that all of this is a scam.
Oh, all of it is a scam. But the World Cup, FIFA as an organization, is I have to think of it in terms of crime. You can't really think of them as a sporting organization. The sport is somehow immune from their fuckery. So I was even seeing that Zoran Mamdani had that. He had released that video.
The one about ticket prices.
No, was it the one just saying like FIFA, like choose the game over cricket? That was the first time with Mamdani. I'm thinking, what do you think you're talking to? Like, if I was, but in the, the head is just gonna. I've always chosen.
I've not chosen anything.
There's no moral compass that you can appeal to here. Nothing points north in my soul. So yeah, FIFA is a terrible organization that happens to produce the best imaginable product. But those
It's like a drug organization making the best drugs.
They're great.
And the first thing is when I saw this one documentary talk about the football, the ball itself. And every ball for the World Cup has a name. It's called the Jabulani.
Yeah, that's true.
And it has its own idiosyncrasy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I was like, you see now. Someone who played a World Cup 8 years ago kicked a ball that's not similar to a World Cup ball now.
That's true.
So you don't, because cricket, the ball is the same.
You are right about FIFA and you are wrong about it.
Okay.
Football is the beautiful cocaine that the Sinaloa cartel
It is the most beautiful thing that has
Ever existed.
This installation sounds better with the British thing.
Well, we both have one of those. To American, so it's
to a FedEx driver.
Yeah, to a FedEx driver, it's all the same. Oh, Johnny from Joburg.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Racist white South Africans.
Yes. Oh my
man, you
God.
took it there.
Oh yes.
Let me tell you something.
Export, yeah.
John Oliver talking to racist white South Africans and them rooting for him.
Yes. But you know what?
They loved him.
There is something about me they like. But the interesting thing is, with that, what I wanted to do was get ugliness out in a short space, right? And so it's different. There is, as you will know, a polish in South Africa, a real so I wanted to get underneath like and I've done some gigs in South Africa. And so one of the producers of the Daily Show had worked with Louis Theroux. So I'd asked him, hey, is there anything, how does he get to the id of this ugliness? Right. How do you get through all of the poise?
Yeah, the pretend.
Exactly. And he said, as a British person, the one night you have is make some glib remark about the Boers, the Boer War, and all of a sudden things will change. So like he's sitting down in his chair and like he's very confident, very media practice. I made some comment as they're putting his thing and just the eyes changed. Like, oh, and he went, oh, there's the human being that I came here to talk
Because the relationship between British people or English people and Afrikaners is quite dicey because there's a term that they have for someone who's half Afrikaans, half British called a salty deal. Because you know what that means? Salty dick. Yeah. So it means one foot is in Africa and then the other foot is in Europe and your penis is in the ocean. Which always like when you look at the way you're standing on the back. It never made sense to me. It never made sense to me.
rightly standing right test.
Yeah, it never made sense to me. It never made sense.
Geographically, I know it's not the main problem with that term, but it doesn't seem it works on any real geographic level. Yeah, but it worked. It just got you. It was immediate flaky, and it was easier to coax out the ugly. He was less poised.
I always wondered when I watched you do things, because I didn't know you at all as a person. I always remember thinking, this is how this guy is, and not how I am.
Because I think naturally, I'm kind of non-confrontational, but in those pieces,
But you love
I love stirring shit up.
really love stirring shit up.
That's it. I love stirring shit up more than I love being a human being. So all of a sudden, you have this, you be the worst version of yourself that seems to be love more than the other parts. And you have to go full
The uniform. I get to be a totally different person.
It's something about the Hugo Boss tailoring.
Oh man, yeah, because
I get Louis Vuitton first.
you just like
It's not me. It just makes me
It's
evil.
that jacket.
wait, but did you know that you? So you loved that part of the job.
Yes,
But did you know that you would love the hosting
nice
part
to
of the job
meet you.
before you hosted?
The
before you
pleasure's
know-
mine.
I was terrified
Roger
of
is
it.
the
Johnny
name.
did this
A
similar
sorcerer,
version of that
as
conversation.
you might have guessed.
Yeah.
Was that
I'm
he
looking
told
for a
me
little something
at-
here in
at
the castle,
home when I'm in my
when I'm not
apartment.
hot-footing it from
And
the
he said, hey,
troops,
I'm
that
gonna,
is. But enough about me.
that movie that
What are you doing
I'm
here
gonna
in
be able to
Stormvale
direct.
Castle?
I'm going, oh, that's
This
great.
place is
This
bristling
feels
with
like a
tarnished hunters,
conversation.
you know.
I don't know.
They
It can't be the
sacrifice
first
our
call.
kind
You're just calling
for grafting.
everyone you know.
Not
to
exactly a
say
place I'd
you're
stroll
excited.
into without
So
a
he
purpose
talks about
in
when he's
mind.
going to do it over the summer. I'm like, oh, okay, great, yeah. So what? He went, and could you host the show for me? I went, yeah. I because he gave me everything. I think I was just hardwired. I would say yes to everything he said. Right. You need something from me, I will do it.
Anytime.
Whatever that
Anytime.
thing is, criminal or not, I'll do it. So I said yes, like it's nothing. Put the phone down and then thought, whoa, boy, what have I just agreed to? And that was terrifying. So then
I see.
for the
Here to
month
challenge
before,
Godric and lay your
he
hands
left,
upon a great
I
rune,
was
are you?
much more
You can see it then,
exactly what
I take it. The guidance of grace.
Just the
Well,
points of the correspondence.
enjoy it while you can. I'm tarnished, like you. But unlike you, I've seen neither hide nor hair of this guidance for the longest time. Still, I won't forget how it felt when I first came here, to the lands between. I'm privy to a few magical battle arts. Would you care to learn one? As a fellow tarnished, once guided by grace, I'd love to help you out, if it please.
That you start building on defines everything.
That's right. Everything cascades after that.
That's first block. So if you put that block still skew, by the time you get to block 100 at 5 p.m., you're like, why is this thing falling over and touching the ground? And you're like, it's that first block. And if you didn't catch the first block early enough, now you're there 5 trying to connect. How many blocks can we go back before we can?
That's so what you learned, right? Is a different way to look at at that room then that first day that you were in it,
for sure.
where you're thinking, why is this? Why are we doing? Why
Why is
we
everyone so serious?
Yeah, why aren't we worrying about what colour the blocks are?
Yeah.
You don't want to worry about the colour of a block in a second.
Yeah.
That's what I realised was being in rewrites were good and bad. To realise you can write jokes at the last second. You can't fix parts of the story when you're done. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
How much
Not really. Like, if to take big swings, you're going to have to have a system that can back you up. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to do it. Country as litigious as America. So I wasn't that surprised. I certainly loved it. I loved that part of the process. And I think what we've done on our show is extrapolate that out now. So it's not just shots in a room, basically just drowning in people's opinions, thinking, I'll tell you how much of this you can actually say, and then an hour later we'll have an answer for you. That we have a much bigger, scaled out research department now, so that they can spend weeks before the writers get anywhere near a story to work out what can you say, and then you can craft the story from those ingredients, and then you can craft jokes from that story.
Which one is why you like stirring the shit that you like stirring? Because I'm not necessarily stir shit in every cup. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like that's like more shit stir. Like where if you're doing it like a toilet weird, you know, I do love trouble. Yeah, you do, but it's different type of trouble. Yeah. Like maybe it's just me, but you'll correct me if I'm wrong. When I think of John Oliver, I go like political shit stirring. I'm like a little bit, but not so much. But when you get into like corporate, you listen.
I love it so much.
The guy who maybe became
No, I couldn't survive it. I couldn't do it. And that was not.
What was the plan?
There was no real plan. Did you study anything? I studied English. Wow, that's a waste. I started writing comedy at college, and then I did my first stand-up gig, and it was, I imagine how a drug addict feels when they get their first taste of something which they know is now going to alter how they live the rest of their life.
We're going to continue this conversation right after this short break. This message is a big partnership with Apple Card. Imagine this. You're at a checkout counter. You're ready to pay when you realize you don't have your wallet. Dun, dun, dun! You couldn't drive all the way back home, but tap on your...
I can't remember exactly what about EasyJet at the time. Not great jokes, but I remember
before EasyJet was...
This was early days of EasyJet.
Wow. Isn't EasyJet back now with that thing? Is it... Jet2 Holiday, yeah.
I can't remember. It wasn't great, but the process of the feeling of it, I knew. I was at college with Richard Iowati. Do you know that guy?
Yes, I do know.
Yes. So we wrote...
Richard with the glasses, with the hair.
Yes.
Like in the movies now.
Yes.
And
We wrote Woodlights together, and we did a two-man show. And I remember walking off the stage for the first night we put our own show on. And thinking, I want to do this. I don't know what that's going to mean. I don't know where I'm going to be able to do it. But all of a sudden, my life became quite clear in terms of not how it was going to turn out, but what I was going to try and do. And that's a gift in many ways. I remember my dad, years later, saying, I admire that you never gave up. And if only at that point occurred that at some point that would have been an option. It never even crossed my mind to give up. And even when from the outside, it must have looked like this is not a dignified life that you're building for yourself. But I was so happy. It never crossed my mind.
Which funny company?
I don't know, survival. You know, there's a pretty...
Is your dad, mom, grandfather, like...
Yeah, I think so. Probably my dad's dad, but you know, my family's political, right? So that is a ignorance of shit. And that the main processing technique was often comedy.
Yeah.
And my granddad was a very odd man.
Okay.
And loved jokes.
I remember John Bishop explaining this to me. Liverpool comedian. He was like, I was like, why? And he said, honestly, he said, I'm not even the funniest person in this place. I just do it professionally.
For sure.
And it's just a vibe. It's interesting to say that because it almost feels like people of Liverpool, so many shit things happen to them that they were like, we will exist in a world of shit stirring in this world now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just how you survive. Gallows, you know.
Okay.
And so it's the only thing that's ever made sense. For me, it's the only way I've ever processed the world through laughs. At his funeral, I did, I was there. Yeah, I wanted it to be funny.
Yeah.
Because it felt like this event isn't funny. This is no reflection of who he was. That in many ways, in my mind as a kid, he was the guy that taught me how to misbehave. Because he knew it would be funny. Like, you sitting at a table, he's like saying, just bang your cutlery like this. And like 2 seconds later, I'm in trouble and he's laughing. Like, oh, I like the sound that came out of that mouth. I've caused a big problem in this room, but this guy's just chuckling to himself. Oh, what do I need to get a little bit more of that?
He was your first audience, I like.
Yeah, he was, and you know what? The last time I saw him, I think I've told this story before, was he was dying in an old people's home, and he was definitely not going to be around for long. And my dad left to get the car. He was on the ground floor, and so I just thought I could leave through the door, or I could like climb. There was a little window into a hedge, or I could just like climb out through the window and go through the hedge. And so I did the hedge. So I looked out the window, climb out, like scratching through it, and the last thing I heard him say was, "You're an idiot." No, that's not the last thing. That's the last thing. Those are the last things I heard from out of his mouth was, "You're an idiot." I remember like hearing it as I'm scratching through it and going down. I'm glad I did that. Option B was the right choice. You don't get you're an idiot if you walk fucking through it.
Aw, it was so close. Look at him. That would have been so good.
You were the pioneer for my part. You know what I mean? So, when I first came to the US, one thing that was made apparently clear to me was, hey, you're nice, but Americans don't like people with an accent, especially doing it in and around their world. Sure, keep it moving. Let alone speaking about their politics. Yeah, keep it moving.
You can see why, though, right? There is like, if you like earn the right to criticize, right? And if they question, I think understanding the question, where is it coming from? And it's we, because I'm an American now, right? And so I play with you and we, but there was at least a sense of ownership. Yeah, that's a British person. That sense of ownership that has a bit of an asterisk on it. But it did feel like this isn't coming from. I think there have been people who come. I've done a smash and grab in America, and there's no real emotional investment in it. Whereas that was not the case with me, and I don't think it was ever going to be.
Yeah, but I think at the time the industry. This wasn't people. This was just the industry going, hey, doesn't work. Don't even bother. I remember one of my good friends, Neil Brennan, comedian. He said to me, he's like, just leave. We were in a small little diner in Denver, Colorado. He had been performing at the Improv. I'd been performing at like the Happy Clap, whatever, you know, like one of the second title clubs. And he was just like, what are you doing? He said, just go home. Go home. I was like, I'm doing comedy. He's like, America won't give you, just go home. And I'll never forget, yeah, but you say that, but I will never forget when the switch flipped. And it almost happened at the same time for both of us. I had done, I think, 2 episodes of the Daily Show, just as like a puppet, contributing, not corresponding. I just contribute, and I contribute here. And someone had asked me, and I was like, no,
no world where I just can't see the possibility. And I was at home watching TV, and your show came on, and it was the first episode, and it was about India's elections.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on the couch, and I went, oh yeah, I would do, okay, because it was the first time I saw an American lens on the world,
Yes.
not from an American, but including America.
Yeah.
I was like, no, okay, that's a possibility. I was like, okay, I would do that. And I genuinely think I wouldn't have gotten the Daily Show if it wasn't for you. Genuine.
Maybe.
I promise you.
Really?
I'm willing to bet money. How many months did you do it? The Astrologer thing?
3. Just 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, just the summer.
Just that 3 months
I
alone.
think there was real panic about John Evans. I think that that star solid enough that something that got killed.
Yes.
I still don't think there was any confidence that something could be correct.
Yes.
That someone could fill in for him in a panic. I don't think there was any institutional confidence that something will operate so
Yeah, but successful even at HBO.
That was possible. I think that was something. So wild. I think that Indian election was such a gift for a first show because, to my mind, there was nothing more interesting happening in the world than the Indian election. The largest exercise of democracy in human history, and it was nowhere on American television. It was just wildly empty. So nothing is happening in America that's more interesting this week than what is about to happen. That was almost a gift. From there, we had to kind of get out of our system, that rhythm from the Daily Show where you're just reacting. And we did one show that wasn't very good, I remember, about immigration early on. It felt like we done like a 10-minute headline. We really just could have done it on the Daily Show. Lucky and unshot an interview walking that we did after that. So that was the main thing that people thought about. For us, the real lesson that we learned that day was that what we wanted our show to be about was showing people something they hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
Because it felt like then you actually using the extra time that you got. Otherwise, it feels like cheating. It's just doing one show a week that you could have written in a day or two. To be fair, now from that lesson on, we extrapolated our process out so that we're spending 6 weeks on each story, and you're just juggling them at the same time.
Yeah, you're just moving them around and then choosing.
And you can force feed any story that you like on people. Then you can you earn the right to have an audience that will actually sit through something that sounds unbelievably boring, like mobile home finance. But the moment that you get into it, you realize how interesting everything is.
Everything is interesting. Everything is interesting if you know enough about it.
Yes.
I find. Exactly. That's
so you just need to give people enough information about it for them to be able to find it interesting. And that's and commercial television, that is much harder because you need. It's hard.
Any duration.
Yeah.
So
that thing is different.
Okay,
right. It's hard to hold people's attention. You take them on a long narrative story if you're having to say 6, 8, 9 minutes in, we'll be right back. 3 minutes of Twix commercial.
Yeah.
And like, I forget where I was. So that is why it's much easier for us to be able to do like 40-minute long stories that sound like they're just in one breath because you can't leave.
I've always loved watching it, thinking about how many like sometimes I genuinely think to myself, I go, are there moments where John maybe can't get along with someone that's less favorable? No, because I think of like how many times have you shown this
or include a bunch of a lot of times. We've threatened with lawsuits, huge amount.
Okay.
Actual number of lawsuits is one happens, but we have lost. That's the key. Undefeated. That's the thing. Like, be it fractious or be it functional. But I think we have like a hidden is their job. I think what they think their job is to stop us getting food. And I think their job is to make sure that when we get food, we win. Right? And that part of it is everything that I love. When you know you're in trouble, the company's angry with you, you're in trouble. The only thing that's exciting is not to work. And the audience, everyone loves watching a car crash. Right? And it's so much fun to be in that position. And it feels like to me, because it's not commercial, because you have full freedom of speech as well, that it is incumbent upon you, if you're lucky enough to be in that position, to push it as hard as you can.
So then, are you worried at all about all the mergers and stuff that are coming?
Oh, sure. I mean, this would be...
Because your show would be... What, HBO's under Warner, so if Warner gets sold, you would... If it was Netflix, you'd be under Netflix technically, or if it was Paramount, you'd be under Paramount.
Comcast, we'd be under Comcast.
And then they might break it up as well, and then of course everything could go everywhere.
And it'll be tied up in the courts. But this would not be our first merger. But this would be our...
AT&T?
This would be our third.
How many have you been around for?
We were around for... First, we were taken over... Time Warner was taken over by AT&T.
Okay.
Then AT&T was taken over by Warner Brothers Discovery. And then Warner Brothers Discovery was taken over by the company collective. So,
what do you think of the merger?
I mean, I think mergers are generally bad. I think you always look for the least bad option. And I think that, like, the key thing for us is to act with enough like aggression or confidence. Like I will act assuming nothing is going to happen. We're not going to change. Like, I think we've behaved the way we've been behaving for long enough that we can't really reason that. So there's no point in doing that. There's no, you're not going to...
I just thinking like, or like that village, you know those stories that they would talk about, like,
Be proud.
where they went, you know,
Your minister was your choice of master. Let the winds lift you to a higher place.
You want to be that village.
Well, who do we have here? Tarnished, are you?
Corporate army.
Clearly not one of Godric's lot.
That's all you want.
I am Nefeli
Enough
Lu,
trouble.
tarnished and warrior, like you. I'm here by decree of my father.
I mean, again,
How utterly repellent this is. This grafting of Godric's ill befits a lord. He's tainted the very winds.
I have yet to see.
If you intend to challenge Godric, I ask you call upon me. The winds run foul with his deeds. I'm certain father would permit me aid the
I don't
fight.
understand why mergers are still a popular thing.
Apologies, as fellow Tarn down whatever road takes us to the throne of Elden Lord.
There are going to be question marks on all of this, but it's very hard to justify this legally. Now, whether that makes it possible to happen, that's another question. But again, you can't waste time worrying about something that you're not going to listen to anyway. Right? It feels like we're just going to do. They're going to, whoever they are, is going to have to realise either you ignore us like that, you're in a village, or you have to run back. I love this song. One of my favorite jokes ever is a joke of tell, and someone told me, brother, it was your heart. Do you remember that? So it was a John joke, and it was basically saying, I hate how my brain chooses what it wants to remember and what it doesn't want. And I'm paraphrasing here, but it was basically the premise. I hate how my brain chooses what it wants to remember and doesn't allow me to choose what I want to remember. Because there's very important things that I want to remember in the world, you know, like the capital of this place or the laws and standards of this place. But instead, my brain is full with random things. Like, so for instance, I went to a CPR class. I learned how to do CPR. So we have CPR. Very sensitive, right? I also learned marching Christian song, which I know all the words. It's not like I've never learned the words, I've never tried to remember the words, but I know them all. They're remixed to English up. Then like when I had the CPR song, basically they were like CPR to the rhythm of ignition. Yeah, so while you do it, then you mix to it.
said, like, that's what you got to be pumping to. And then John was like, but now I'm afraid that my brain will screw me up. I'm going to be on a plane one day.
I don't remember any part of that joke at all, but I do all the lyrics to it. So that, I don't know if that my joke got off with the premise. No. Oh, Kelly, by the way.
That's the origin story. That's the beginning of it all, right?
The other person is the big town. Those two. But you
No, because you love stand-up. I'm assuming you love stand-up, right?
Yeah, I still, yeah.
No, but you love it. Like,
I love it so much. It's like it calms me down like nothing else.
What calms you down?
I will take that surprise from anyone but you.
No. What calms you down? No, this is fully surprised.
Really?
Fully
You know,
surprised. Calming?
Yeah.
Invigorating, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Calming? No. What, Eugene? What do you calming? Which word would you use to stand up?
avoiding.
Avoidance. Sure.
But how does stand up make you feel?
Oh yeah. You know, anytime I do stand up, I'm like, thank God I'm naturally good at it, but I don't rely on it
Because
I'll be miserable.
why?
Doing what? If it's all I had to do, I'll die. So when I do it, I'm not gonna suck. I know that. So thank God for that part.
Okay.
But I'm like, thank God I don't have to come back here every day.
That's why I think every comedian has a different. Like I don't hate it. Calm, I don't get John.
No, and I don't get nervous.
So when you first said that so preternaturally talented, you sounded like Cristiano Ronaldo. No. You wouldn't even get the
Mighty dragon, thou the true born heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred.
Where I understand is that like the grind of that, especially when you're starting
greater
it
heights.
is such a slog just to get by. I am very grateful that I don't have to do that to me, but I would never not want to do it.
Yeah, but I'm saying you stuck it up now. Yeah, I find it, but yeah, it is my head. Like, it's just like the process of it. The fact that, I don't come at them. There's so many there's the three directors that the can't really replicate. Just insane. But it's a fundamental self-respect. Like, there's something I love about
thou unfit even to grab.
Isolated person among a lot of people. Like you're with a lot of people, but you're alone.
Yeah.
Like there's a purpose to your day, and you structure everything around that.
What is your stand-up day? What's your?
Well, it depends. Like here, I get
Dishes?
once a month at the beach with them.
Okay.
So
No,
that's
I'm saying like
so
what's
that's
just a stand-up day.
like if I'm
what's
on
your
the road,
routine? What would you do? From the morning, from the time you wake up, what time do you wake up and then what's your day?
Here. That's yeah. Well, that's what I was looking for. This guy. I was going to get more of them, but now that I found them, I don't need to.
My body wants to get up at 6 o'clock when my kids are getting up when they are. So I'm kind of up. So for me doing stand-up right now, what I'm really, because I'm not in that regular, it's kind of trying to break through the way my mind works. Oh, right. So, it's trying to think about stand-up and similarly, stand-up would work. So, yeah, it's really just about time. I love online, like a local story. Like a whole bunch of them. So I scrambled a whole bunch of days. Oh Lord, that was the most I've done. For a few months I was out constantly. It felt like the only way that I could go out. Yeah, it's not great, but also
he doesn't have it in him to be the best. Yeah, but he's not. Come on, he doesn't like it. Wow. Wow. We'll talk about that. What are we talking about? I'm not going to register this at all. At all. Not even in a plastic cup. At all. Registering in a plastic cup. At all. Plastic cup. No charge. You know what it is? Zero. What if it's nada?
high profile MBA.
That's what you should try to do. You trying to suck them all.
Whew. Look at that life. Look at that mana. Completely out of potions. Half spellcaster. Didn't even pick up my runes. She's so close to dead. Whew, that was a fight and a half, that one.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, he's the greatest.
That's one of your favorite comedians. I heard his name from you for the first time.
You guys were very close friends.
He's my best man. Oh, where
So, you know what's funny? It's like, I feel like you and Daniel have a relationship like me and Eugene, where...
We have a relationship.
This is what I'm talking about. You see? I love it. See what you just did there? So, like, it's where two people meet. You're similar, but you're not the same. You have, like, a comedic undercurrent that connects you. When I met Daniel, I felt like I knew him because of you.
Yeah,
Daniel
right.
Kitson is, in my opinion, the greatest comedian that most people do not know. But if you know comedy, he has to be in, like, your top 5.
Yeah, he's very good. Where did you see him?
Everywhere I could. Australia.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Melbourne, Edinburgh.
The guy who loves late shows?
Yeah, but again, the myth around him is people. I don't know if you've heard any of these people be like, "Oh, Daniel Kitson, he does shows at 12:01 or 11:59 because he likes how that like wait, they're like he does a show at 12:03 midnight, and I totally then I met him and I was like, yo man, I have to ask you about something today, so I'm sorry. And then Daniel was just like, he's like, oh, I put the show on at 12:03 because then it's the next day. Otherwise, if you put it on at midnight, it's that's why.
Much more practical thing. I think it's a bit of a hangover to the fact that when he won the Perrier, the big award in Edinburgh, that came with... That's right, see? Yeah, it's the Ballon d'Or of comedy. Right? I imagine you think you have to pay for it somehow. Is that right? Yeah.
Copstick has no way.
Yeah, when he won that, all of a sudden, he was finding there were people coming to the show as the one. He didn't want. Wait, no, he wanted to do the show the way he wanted to do it. He didn't want people better. He didn't want
This makes no sense.
And so get rid of some of that by making it more difficult, but then he wasn't necessarily needed to be. So it was a filtering system, and it worked because the Perrier back then it was such a gravitational force as an award. All of a sudden you were plunged into a certain kind of career, and he did not want that. So that came with a need to do things his own way.
Yeah, but the fact that he chose that's what I feel like with you in some ways is like you have this choice. No, but you have this thing where how can I put it? So some people are famous because of what they do and they love that fame. Yeah. Right? And then there are other people who have jobs that are just attached to things. And if they could, they would slice that out of their life. That's how I feel about you. Like, you have a very, like, you win an award, you have a very, like,
I cannot wait to get off because it's the weirdest place to be. And it's not a funny place to be, so I cannot wait. The only thing I like is when they play you off. I love the feeling of being played off at an award ceremony. So the music, I love it so much. The thing that it's such an absurd situation to have to be interrupted by an orchestra. I love it.
Okay, but help me understand it. What is it about? Because everyone has a different reason. That's why I'm interested. What is it about the fame or the spotlight or the anything that just like
I don't like
a
it.
little.
I don't like
No, look at your body.
I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it. It's not. I don't like. I'm very conscious of the fact that because our show has become well known, I am the face of that show.
Yeah.
And so there are things that you can do with that in terms of protecting your ability to say what you want. Not conform to a corporation employs you. To go, you can do whatever you want. So the value of it is extreme there. That's the utility of fame, as you put it, is that you can do what you want in your show. Everything else around it, it is not for me. I don't have any kind of real connection to it.
That's the comic's curse, right? You want people to love you, but you want them to love you at your own terms.
Or you want them to love what you do.
Yeah, but they have to love you. So there's nothing else to distract them from you.
But it feels like it's two different. I was talking to this little girl in my kids. She's at my kids' school, and she was, I think, at the start of the season, we had like pictures, we had posters on the subway, and so she's very confused about like, why is there a picture of you on the subway? And so I was trying to explain to her, I just.
A pleasure to see. Did you give the that I love? What's this? Oh, I can't.
I do.
They all thought. I think I'll head perhaps I'll thought.
And so thanks for that. You come thanks for asking these questions. So I don't know. I don't like to people would. Some people want to know, most people don't. So those people know, no one else knows. And you know me till you know me, right? You know me as Master Cat. So there's nothing to worry about. And she said, I'm not worried about this at all. She's like, I don't know what's happening to you right now. Just ask, why is there a picture?
For an audience. Go for an audience.
The mature person. I just asked. Oh man.
Have you had the same conversation with your kids?
Oh, this is it. I can't remember though very
How
well.
old are you?
This is
I didn't. They're 10 and 7 now.
Allow me, you.
Because
I can remember you.
Right? And so I would
There's nothing.
just random people in the street, like I would say, who's that? And I would say, oh, that's just a friend. Like after someone tells. Then you realise, hold on, New York, what a friendly city. Everyone says hello. Actually, that's not the city that you live in. So then, and I didn't want to lie to them. Right? I didn't want kids at school to know things they didn't. That was the problem when you realise, I think there are other kids that know.
So they figured it out.
Yeah, they figured it out. And
you're the only ones who don't.
Yeah, something's been kept from you. I didn't want that to be the case. So I kind of explained to them as best I could. They came to see the one thing that I thought that would be fun when we were.
Let's grieve and continue to be tragic across the far the so gray sea to become
How you told the kids to see it?
all easy and child the
and then I realised that in their heads, understandably, they think that's happening.
the chill tainted hands the great turn in the demigod the good run. Now go.
Like, I'm going to work and he said, you've got the bird costume. What bird costume? Oh, shit. Yeah, that was just a one-off. I just wear a suit.
You again. I thought you'd received from Lulu. I'm glad to see you found it in you defeated. Make good use. I don't intend.
No,
Ah, yes. I wonder if you've met my... He's in his study. If you haven't already, father is in sure
the
to.
more you describe it, the worse
It's about time. I'll see you again.
It's just it's yeah, it's weird. But I found if you explain it to kids, like using class dynamics, they get it.
Then I am known as a
Because they
tarnished
have their
eye,
pictures
and
up
you now
on
belong.
walls. People
You'll
know
be
the class
then
captain.
Azure, the
Do you
inheritor
get what I'm saying?
of
Then
Godric
it's
the
like, what did you
Crafty,
tell your
General
daughter? What did you...
Moderator, right, Morgoth, and he'll still be... I understand you've been speaking to Nefel. She's my daughter. I took her in when she lost though on me, so I put her to do not hesitate to meet her looks.
I didn't. I haven't acknowledged that. And you know that. You're bringing that up. You're returning fire to that NBA thing.
Oh man.
Now you're trying to suck me into
Oh man.
Hello. I'm, well, the honor of... By the way, she's my servant. Take your eyes off if you find her.
No, what did you say? I think I didn't have to say much because we
Greetings.
spent so
My
much time
name is
together.
Risen. There's a
Obviously, when
round
people
table
recognize you,
nothing,
they'll
although
recognize
I'm
you from
still
the thing
looking.
that you do. So my thing was always be
And
nice.
please allow me for
Let's say
giving
we
you
look
that
alike.
kit was as if
Go with
you have my...
Oh, so that's
It's all of it, but I'm
yeah,
still
like,
looking.
don't lie. How do you describe stand-up? I don't.
Yeah, all I said was they came to when I was down last December. I was doing the Kennedy Centre, so they came and I said, "This is where I'm going to go and do my talk." I just said, "Right, I'm just going to stand and talk into this microphone," because that makes sense. Because
That makes a lot of
they
sense.
talk,
Yeah, they talk in front of their class.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said, "I'm just going to be doing my."
I think they're just confused.
You're a new nomad. Lay out your own.
Stand-up.
The girl you bought, she's cracked. She has it. I saw another with her eyes. I see you've noted nothing special. That's the worst.
It's the thing that I'm talking
No,
about.
I've no grudge my being a... Besides, despite my dyslexia.
Yeah, that's why I don't say stand-up. I say it's just talking. Because they can understand the concept of talking in front of a class. Makes sense. You stand on a chair and you talk to people. And
Yeah, but
I just don't have a chair.
So they check it out.
So you think I
The
say...
remix be ignition now.
I told that song is
I apologize. So,
No, it is.
That is about as bounce,
well done.
bounce,
Something
bounce,
to
bounce,
mark.
bounce. No,
I should might have. No need to be.
No, mama, roll. Look at this. I'm not so on a drum. It's the freaking but you about to have this some fun. Anyway, he's a terrible human.
You have to say that at the end.
You have to say he's a terrible human. Yeah.
I'd love to know what you think are the biggest existential crises that like America / the world is facing now.
Are you ready to take a sip?
I really hope that is a question you just ask all your guests.
No, it's just you.
Like if you can have one meal for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
That kind of shit.
No, just you.
Well, here's the little
No.
Oh.
No, I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay, forever.
He got what he would tell you, though. He
Want us to go?
I'll tell you. Okay, can I tell you why? Can I tell you why? I'll tell you why. So, I'll ask you the question because I remember when I was fully immersed in the TV show, my worldview was shaped in many ways by everything